eventually.
I didn't check the signal. Hopefully, that's not a bad thing. Eventually. They may be hearing us now. If you're hearing us now, we don't know we're
Well,
live.
we're here, toughing it out.
The computer's saying we're going.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say yeah like. like
I
told
learned
you to take
I
it
learned
off,
my lesson
but
last
you
week.
didn't take, it says that we're live, maybe. I don't know. What's going on with this computer? We're just going to hit the reload button.
Oh,
Just trying to do a little speed test really quick. Just to
Yeah.
make sure that we didn't. Oh, boy.
not in like a dead zone or anything, right?
It says room. Oh, is it connected to? That shouldn't be a problem. 25.
It's better than it was earlier.
Down. We'll see up. We should be good. Yeah, we're
Ooh,
beyond good.
that was
Let's try to
exquisite.
This just doesn't want to go live today.
Mm-hmm. It's all hooked up.
Everything looks legitimate.
Internet's pretty strong. There we go. What is going on, everybody? We are here and we are live inside of Bank of America Stadium, as unfortunately our Carolina Panthers lost today by a score of 26-16 to the Arizona Cardinals. I'm hanging in there, Chris. I don't know about you, but wow, that was a tough performance today.
I'm going to do a
Carolina.
live mic check. Check. Okay, because my mic actually was not on
Oh,
before.
was it?
but it was a tough game, man.
Yeah,
and now
mean,
we're sitting
my
out here in this
goodness.
Why is it breezy every
time we
that
go live, it is just as windy as can be. I don't know if that's like a sign from the forces above, or I don't know what's going on, but
Yeah.
it's been a pretty noticeable theme that I've seen
it's
so
going
far
on.
up to this point.
God loves your hair blowing in the wind.
I guess so. I guess it's good for the ratings here on our broadcast. So, yeah, it was a very interesting performance today by Carolina, and I know you had a couple of pieces from the press conference today with
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield and with Coach Rule. It's definitely a tough presser to be a part of.
Yeah.
I know for sure you were, feeling a lot of the angst that was in the room, for sure.
So before I get into it, and before I lose people that are pissed off and don't want to see much, hey, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Even though it's
Yes.
frustrating, even though it's 1-3, it's not good for me. It's not good for
It's not
business.
good for
It's not good for anybody. But your subscribers, your subscriptions help me to continue to be able to do what I do what Andre loves to do.
Strength.
Gives us the ability to get players to say, hey, can you come on the show? I got some questions I want to ask you. So please, we need to get to 5,100 subscribers. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so. And if you already have subscribed, hit the like button. And if you've done both, you still should hit that bell notification so that you can join us live like we're doing now. We're going to go over some things that Andre and I want to talk about, but we really want to hear from you guys. We feel like, you guys need us out there today to vent, to ask questions, and we'll stay here as long as I cannot freeze answering those questions.
And we're going to be y'all's Dr. Phil today because, of course, on Twitter and everywhere else, it's just been a firestorm with a bunch of just comments, involving the team, a lot of, understandably frustrated comments that are being displayed. And we're going to try and navigate through some of the frustration that I know all of us are feeling right now.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to bring up some things here, see if I got it lined up properly. So, I didn't mean to hit the share button already. Sorry. So let's do this right here. So in a second, I'm going to bring up Matt Rule. I'm not sure which one I got queued up first. Let me check my notes for you here. The first one that we have queued up, and I had to restart my computer,
Right.
so my notes aren't in order.
Here's the thing. Who do people want to hear from first, Matt Rule or Baker Mayfield? I feel like that's a lose-lose.
Lose.
Because I feel like everybody is just in a place of just horror right now with both of those names.
Not in a good place.
Not in a good place.
All right, let's see if I got it together. So here's what we're going to have here. First up, it happened not once, not twice.
Not 3 times.
It's debatable how many times it happened, but it's non-debatable that it happened excessively. Here's Coach Matt Rule talking about the batted balls that Baker Mayfield continues to have, and just what can this team do about it here?
Yeah, they showed up today, so there's no denying that we have to get it fixed. I think for us, we have to go back and watch the tape. That last one was fourth and half a foot. It was a handoff to Christian with an RPO versus free access, kind of the same type of a throw that we had made before the half to DJ to kick the field goal. Sort of that out route. And I'd have to see the tape. I know they blitzed off the edge, so I'd have to see exactly, but I saw one on the Jumbotron, they just kind of mirrored the quarterback and got their hands up. So I can't give you a definitive, hey, we have to do this. I do know that we have to get it corrected, right? There's too many, and obviously one leading to the, to a back-breaking, interception, that led to, I think it was 10 points off of turnovers.
So, unfortunately, well, you listened before, right? So
Yeah.
you know kind of what he was saying. We were having a little bit of trouble out here hearing the volume because of the who knows what. I mean, we're in a big open door space with the.
There'd be a whole lot of reasons why we could barely hear what he was saying, but I guess for the better, in a sense. But I mean,
Matt Rule there essentially saying, yes, it's time to take ownership that we need to improve on the batted balls from Baker Mayfield, and we got to figure it out. And they do. I'll let you talk about it. You got some things you want to say
Well,
about
here's
the
the
batted
thing,
balls?
like-
How many did we have? You saw a report on Fox. How many did they say we had?
yeah, on their broadcast, it said that they had 9 batted balls in today's game.
9.
And here's the thing: Baker Mayfield had how many incompletions? 14.
14 incompletions.
And 9 of them were batted down.
So you're telling me 9 of 14?
Which is over 50%.
Is it
That's like-
75%?
It's somewhere up there, but that's, I mean, and it was a problem last week too when they played the Saints, but it became more of a forefront of the issue. I mean, I feel like every other play it was just a batted pass, or he was trying to throw it to DJ Moore on one of those routes on 4th down, and then he was trying to throw it over that defender there with Ian Thomas trying to block him. I mean, it was just over and over again, just passes getting batted down, and it just really. It was kind of the theme for today's game and for the offense, and how, kind of out of sorts they were, really, for the entirety of this game. I mean, there wasn't any point in the game where you felt like they had a handle of what was going on or what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
It was not good whatsoever.
So there was Matt talking about the batted ball. So I had another question. This is in my head. I actually had 2 questions. I was only able to ask him one today.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get a chance to ask him tomorrow the other question. But Christian McCaffrey, 5 carries in the first half, 3 carries in the second half. He had some receiving yards, which was good.
Had a
some
touchdown.
targets, and had a touchdown.
At the end of the game.
But me and Rashad from Panther Nation podcast, which I hope to be talking with him again soon, we talked about this pregame. And it wasn't a bad point. I'm not going to say he was wrong. He said that he believes in a more balanced attack. And that sounds good, and that's true. It wouldn't be nice to have a balanced attack, but I feel like the best chance for us to win
games.
the
is to
best
have
chance
them.
currently for this team to win is to have Christian McCaffrey run the ball more than 8 times. Ask Coach Matt Rule about that exactly. And
it was a really good question, by the way, too.
So here we go. Christian finishing with 8 carries. Was that what you had envisioned for him today coming into the game?
No, they stopped the run pretty good level. He was able to make a couple plays there. Again, the touches, when you do touches, you're talking off of like 65, 70 plays. We keep being in the, we keep not being on the field. I think 3rd down is just absolutely attacking us. So we plan on playing Christian. I wanted to get Deontay going. I wanted to get Chuba in the game. I wanted to get a bunch of guys involved that, between the turnovers and the 3rd down, inability to convert 3rd downs, we just weren't able to have enough plays.
So there you have Matt Rule saying he wanted to get Christian the ball more, wanted to get Deontay the ball more. I'm kind of tired of him saying that he wants to get people the ball more.
Yeah,
because
you look at the game, and it says the exact opposite of what he was trying to do.
Like, you can put it, you're the coach. You could say, go in there and run. I don't know. I mean, I see what he's saying to some point.
Yeah.
Like, if
The
we had,
intentions are there.
yeah, if we had more plays, then I could do something like that. But you still could have had Christian with more plays with where he was. Nevertheless, we want to get to you guys' comments and questions. So I'm going to continue to move on. Baker Mayfield talked about he's unhappy that they're losing.
As
he
you
can't,
should.
Right, he can't be
You
happy.
cannot be happy I mean, you'd be, if you were happy in this scenario, oh my goodness, I would be questioning your psyche as a professional football player,
Yeah.
I must say.
And so he talked about the execution. The execution, we got to execute. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And I just kind of was, as I was listening to it, I was thinking, well, what do you have to do? Because you can only say what you need to do so many times before you need to maybe try to do something different. So Baker Mayfield is explaining to me what that better execution will look like, and we're going to sit here and watch it together. I think I'm going to get it right this time. My fingers are falling off, but I'm here for you guys.
Converting third downs, not hurting ourselves, no penalties. Turnovers obviously is the number one thing. I mean, all that goes into execution. Little details on routes, little details on my timing. It's everything as a whole.
So there you have Baker saying this details of the snaps, the routes, the execution, the blocking. I appreciate the more information. But nevertheless, there was Baker Mayfield responding to my question on what that better execution looks like. We're going to go over some stats, and then please continue to leave your comments. We're going to get to these comments. Please leave them below for those that are watching, and we're going to answer them. So here's let's look at some stats from today's game. I'm going to let you take the first one here. Let's go. What do you want first on the offensive side?
Yeah, let's do the rushing first.
Want to do the rushing? Here we go.
Because seemingly I felt like they completely forgot about the run game today. I mean, 8 carries for Christian McCaffrey, that's not going to get the job done. DJ Moore, Deontay Foreman should not have 1 carry. They should not have the same amount of carries. I mean, they were talking about with Coach Rule, we got to get Deontay involved. We got to get Chuba involved. He's not even on the list. Chuba Hubbard didn't even get a carry today. So,
right.
I mean, they talk about this balanced attack, and they want to have more people involved in the offense. But if your top guy is only getting 8 carries in the game, and again, they still had opportunities to run the ball even up until the fourth quarter. It was still 10-10 to start the fourth quarter. They had plenty of opportunity to establish the run game. And then when they got behind, then they kind of had to throw the ball, and their offense became more predictable. But it just blows my mind that Christian McCaffrey just had 8 carries.
Yeah, and further on that, look at this. So Christian had 8 carries, DJ 1 carry, Baker 2, Laviska's 1. You had 1, 2, 3, 4 other people have more carries than your second running back.
Your quarterback should not be your second, like with the carries.
Baker
you should not have as many carries or second most carries on that lister. I mean, it just,
and especially when that guy's Baker Mayfield.
That's so backwards.
That's not good. That's not good.
That's not a good situation.
Let's go to receiving next. So I don't know, give them some credit here. Christian McCaffrey led in receptions with 9, so that they are using him.
From that standpoint.
Yeah. DJ Moore, he did have a pretty good game with the 11 targets, got 6 catches, 50 yards. That's crazy. That's his best game of the year, I would think,
Oof.
right? Because he only had 1 catch before. Yeah. Tommy Trumbull with 3, Robbie Anderson with 3. Total of 197 yards passing. Shi Smith, 0 catches on 2 targets. Continue to move on through here. I'll let you take this one. Baker Mayfield, 22 of 36. What do you want to say about this?
197 yards, 61, or really a 62 rating. I mean, again, that's just not going to get the job done. And, we were talking about it earlier, the one thing that, we can credit him to for how he's played this season is the fact that he hasn't turned the ball over. But today he had 2 interceptions, and I believe also a fumble, too. So, I mean, that's just not going to get the job done. And we expected him today to show up, show out. This game was important for so many reasons. I mean, Sam Mills, it was his day today, keep pounding, that was like the perfect stage for him to show up and be Baker Mayfield, the one that we saw at Oklahoma, the Heisman Trophy winner, and he just did not show up to the occasion today.
Yeah. A little bit more to be desired there. Defensive side, Frankie Louvu continues to show out, be a leader on this team with 11 tackles, 6 solos, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 pass deflection, and a touchdown. So I'll let you guys glance over these other stats of the team. But Frankie Louvu was the big shining point on the defense this week, as he was in previous weeks. So that's good that we still have some things going on the defensive side.
Yeah.
Some positive things, but overall, it's not enough. I'm going to say one thing. If you want to have one big summary from the game, then again, we're here today to talk to you all about your comments, your questions. We want you to vent. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know how you're feeling.
You really feel, right?
So Baker Mayfield is, I know I've seen him in the comments. We're going to get to it. Sam Darnold. And it was asked about in the press conference, Sam Darnold, when is he going to be available? Man, unless Sam Darnold's going to be like some new guy that we've never seen before, I get it that we're going to ask about Sam Darnold. I get it that we're going to be curious about Sam Darnold. But you might as well just be curious about P.J. Walker.
I mean, at this point.
In my opinion, because Sam Darnold has problems. I mean, he's still hurt, but he still doesn't play well when he's under pressure, when he's running around for his life, and when he has to make a play. He throws the ball all over the place. And, yes, Baker did get some interceptions today. But here's the thing, and I'm not saying like Baker's the answer long term. His 2 interceptions were on tip balls.
Yeah.
They were never like right to the person, and they just made it. It was on tip balls where if anytime you tip a ball, I don't care who you are, it has a good chance of ending up in the other team's hands.
Yep.
So, again, I'm not saying Baker Mayfield is all that. He's the best thing ever. I'm just saying still Baker Mayfield is better than Sam.
He's your best option. And, I mean, your options are pretty limited right now, unfortunately. And if you're really advocating for Sam Darnold to be the starter again, it really shows you the state of affairs that we're in right now. And it's not a good situation. So I get it. Some people like Sam, but we saw a season of that last year. And I think people have made their judgments on him. Some keen, some, neither here nor there. But, I mean, we already have had that experiment.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to give you the floor because, again, I see we're up to 26 comments since the last check. So we're going to get to them. You want to say any big takeaway from the game that you want to express before we get into answering these questions?
I think today was probably the worst offensive performance that Carolina has had this season. And we've had some pretty bad performances up to this point. And, you would think that by now they would have at least a semblance of what they feel like they can do offensively. And they have the talent. They have the pieces. But for whatever reason, there's just a disconnect with all the pieces starting at the quarterback position and then with their skill players. So I think, it was very disappointing that they couldn't get anything going until the fourth quarter. They had 0 points offensively scored until the fourth quarter when they had to score points and they had to get back in this game. So really my takeaway is frustration and disappointment from really all facets of the team except for the defense because they showed up, but they really did all they could, and then Arizona kind of just took over after that.
They built some steam. All right, so without further ado, Andre and I are going to go through these comments.
Yeah, let's see what y'all are saying.
Hopefully without me freezing. And we're going to go through them, not quickly, but I like to try to get through to everyone. So remember, tomorrow night, ask me your Carolina Panther questions. It's an hour-long show, again, dedicated to answering questions. But let's go for it here. Ali Broderick, welcome back. Locks Maine, you're on timeout because you have not shown your face. And you keep giving my guy Andre a hard time, even though we appreciate it. It's fun.
I mean, it is pretty funny, though. I mean, I can't take it too seriously, though. But I do like, the entertainment value that you bring to the table. But show us your face if you do.
You're in timeout. You're in timeout. Next week, we'll bring you back.
Yeah.
But anyway, Chris Johnson, this was a hard loss to take. Yeah, it's too many losses to say.
Goodness.
Too many batted balls.
And to witness this in person, too. I mean, it's even worse. I mean, it just weighs on you.
Offense still can't get going. Baker Mayfield is the weakest link. We had this one, and we gave it away, says Chris Johnson.
That's a fair take.
To top it off, we lose at home on the day that we celebrate Sam's Mill going to the Hall of Fame.
That stings. That, to me, is what makes it stings.
And I don't know if you guys can see it well, but right behind us here is like a little, you kind of can see it, not too bad. It says Sam Mills Hall of Fame.
Here.
It's pretty cool. And as we do this, I would pan the camera, but we'll lose all of it. Normally, there's like people over here, people over here.
When we're
Andre and I are the only ones on the field right now reporting.
Yeah, and we're just holding it down. So, I mean, that's dedication right there.
Panthers snow, keep pounding. I like it. You got to keep pounding. Fire rule immediately. I'm going to take this one. I've been waiting to take this one. You know why? I'm not against that. I'm not against that.
Especially how they played today.
I'm not against that. You know why? Matt Rule is close. He's close to being a decent, respectable, acceptable head coach in the NFL. He's close. But he's been close for a while. He's been close too many times where you have to say, yeah,
but
I think it's time that you learn on somebody else's team the little dot in the I's that you need to do in order to be a good coach in the NFL, because he has good pieces.
he does.
He has good coaches around him, and he does things where it's just like, it's not terrible. I mean, right now it probably seems terrible because it's been compounding and compounding and compounding. So it seems like it's one big thing that's going to blow up. But to me, he's actually not a bad head coach. He's just missing this little piece.
And I think with him, it's just a lot of the stuff that he does, like common sense has to take in at some point. Like on that 4th and 1 call, in the beginning of the first half, I mean, you run it up the middle and, that's the right call to make. But, I mean, there are just so many calls in this game where it's like, just do the right play, like the play that makes the most sense. And then you just try to make your job even harder by doing something tricky instead of just doing the obvious.
And what I say, and that he's just this close with the personnel, is that Chuba Hubbard is back there returning kicks, and he's dropping them. Shi Smith is back there returning punts, and he's bobbling them.
Literally the first
Baker
play.
Mayfield is out there throwing balls, and he's getting them batted. It's just like those little things that I feel like at this point I have to say, maybe even your player evaluation is just a hair off, because you get guys that are good that you excited about, but they're not able to complete. I got to make quicker responses because I want to get through all these comments. I'm sorry, but appreciate that response, Taylor Styles. Andre, I'm going to let you go in here.
Chris Johnson again just put us in a deeper hole, having to find a new coach and everything else, and that's a valid point. But, again, with the compounding thing, I feel like fans at this point don't really care about that at this juncture in time here.
Why Big Jordan saying Sam? You want to talk about Sam?
Man.
We've kind of already touched on Sam.
No, we've experimented with that. I think we're good. That is the question that we should be asking right now.
Who is Sam?
Right? Oh, man. Alec Oven. Oh, really going off over here.
I'm done watching Panther games or buying merch until we bench or better cut Baker. People will defend him by saying he ain't got chemistry with the wide receiver, but chemistry ain't going to make him grow inches.
Dang.
So here's my thing with Baker.
I can really feel the heat from that comment.
What did you say about Baker? He is our best option. That's all we're saying. We're not saying that he needs to be here forever, but if you cut him right now, what are you going to do? Have Sam? That's not going to do it. You cut him and then you're going to have P.J. Walker. P.J. Walker does play a lot better when he's known that he's going to be the starter versus just coming in off the bench.
But he's not a starter.
But
he's not a starting quarterback.
There you go.
I mean, that's been established now for years. That's why he's a backup.
There you go. Benjamin Farmer, 12 total yards in the third quarter. We're done, and we're competing for a top 5 pick at this point.
Oh, man. 4 games in, and we're already talking about the draft next year. That's just a sad state of affairs.
So here's what I'm going to ask you guys. Everybody that's watching, my hands are freezing. I don't know if you can see how white they are. I need to start wearing my gloves. Yes, it's terrible. I'm not personally, my whole body's okay. But anyway, here's what I'm sincerely asking you guys. So I have to continue to report on this team for the rest of the season. Andre has to continue to report on this team for the rest of the season. We say that we work for the fans. And so my question sincerely to you all is, how can we make the rest of this season interesting for you? Like, what do you want to know? What do you want to hear? Do you want us to have more event sessions? Do you want us to talk to players? Because I want you all to tune in, and I want to continue to be here for you. So let me know what we can do to continue to make this season interesting, considering what's going on. A lot of people like the one-on-one player interviews that I've done. Maybe you want to see more of those. Let me know, but we'll continue to go through some of these. But appreciate your comments, Alec, on that one. Benjamin Farmer, Donna B over here as always. Aaron Patton saying that we are cursed. We are definitely cursed at this point.
By some force. I don't know what that force is.
Not a good one.
It's not good. Donald Duck, man, he's made some regular appearances, I must say.
Yeah.
We're trash. Chris, can you tell us more info on Golden Corral? You have a very odd obsession with Matt Corral, I must say. But, I mean, do you have any insider info that you are –
The
able to.
inside information
Yeah.
on Golden Corral, aka Matt Corral, is that I have not seen him in a couple of weeks. Probably will not see him the only
For the
time.
rest of the year, right?
Yeah,
At this point.
the only time that I can see him is if he happens to be on his scooter, going in the locker room, and even then I can't say anything to him.
Not on a bird scooter. We don't need him on a bird.
No, not on the
would
bird,
be-
not on the electric scooter.
Yeah, that would
He's
not
on
be
the
smart.
my knee can't be flexed
Yes,
out kind
that's
of
the only
scooter.
scooter that he could be on until further notice.
Donna B with all the
Yeah,
tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes. I think that's probably a bad thing. Throw tomatoes at the guy, kind of deal. That's not good.
Right.
Do you think we fire Matt Rule? All right, Vincent Trosh. I will add this comment to the fire Matt Rule. I said that either Matt Rule gets fired during the season,
Yep.
or he continues to coach and make it through the next season. So,
Two things can be true.
yeah, but I think two things can be
But
true.
I think what's going to happen is one versus the other.
That he's going to be fired during the season.
I think he is.
Hey, then I would be right.
That's my prediction on that. The way that I see it going.
I'll let you handle this comment here from
So
Aaron Patton.
No, Sam Darnold. No Baker Mayfield. No P.J. Walker. No Matter Rule. Fire and trade. Blow up the team or restart from the scratch. I feel your frustration. You know, there are some really good quarterbacks coming out in next year's draft. You know, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young. I mean, there's some hope down the road. But, you know, you just get that vibe everywhere that you turn here in the stadium. And you're like, man, that's a fresh start. It just sounds so good right now.
You know what? Off script, and I'm going to make it quick because we have a lot of comments.
Yes.
Fire Matt Rule is also not a bad thing to do because the stands are getting empty. We talked about it pregame.
Yes, it was.
It's
Quite
getting
bare.
easier and easier to get to a Carolina Panthers game right before kickoff. And the stands filling up aren't really happening that much.
Yeah.
And deservedly so. Fan base Should be back. Yeah, we're back.
All right. Well, we are back after that little hiccup there. Coach Rule, I guess, took control of the mics that we have here.
Yes, they did. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
That's on me. How long does? Let's see. Cyrus is
Notify
yelling.
him sooner about the sound. But yeah, we're here. We're back. Can y'all hear us? I hope y'all can.
So for those that are still tuning in after that
Yep.
little blip, hopefully that wasn't as long as the
Hopefully it
previous
wasn't
time.
10 minutes.
No,
Like,
hopefully that
yeah.
wasn't 10
Oh,
minutes.
boy.
How long were we out? Tell us. For those that didn't tune out, I heard my phone do something, but I couldn't
Yeah.
reach in my pocket because
40 minutes of being muted? Ouch.
It was not 40
I don't
minutes.
know about that. Just me or the audio not
10.
working?
It was 10 minutes.
Some people said 10,
10?
40. It was about 15 a while.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Thanks to
Insert Jeopardy music. 10 minutes? Was it? It couldn't have been 10 minutes.
I mean, I felt like they would have said something about it sooner, though. It had to
All
be
right,
at least
so
2 or 3 minutes at the bare minimum.
we
right?
apologize. We apologize. Sound is back on.
Mm-hmm.
That one's still my fault because I didn't change all the batteries.
It happens.
It
though.
happens. But I tell you what, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up because I'm freezing, and we had that 10 minutes of or whatever amount of time that we were
time frame it
dead
was,
air.
right?
So I'm sure we probably lost some people at that point. So here's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do. You're invited to come on tomorrow
Okay.
if the time fits. We will continue to do our Ask Me Your Carolina Panthers questions, which is Mondays at 7 o'clock
Oh, I'll
Eastern
be there for
time.
That, if
You'll be
that's the
there?
case. Definitely.
All right,
Yeah.
so we'll come back on tomorrow. We'll continue to answer your questions, hear you vent. And, our show's on Monday. We want you to come on, right? So there's always a link that I'll post that you can click on,
Yep.
show your face, come on the show, ask us your question. We'd love to hear from you and see what you have to say. And it'll also be another day that we'll have some more feedback from Coach Matt Rule about this team and what's going to happen. I know some people are hoping that we'll have breaking news, such as Matt Rule has been fired.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I wouldn't be shocked either if it did.
Yeah.
But highly unlikely from how things are going. But who knows? A lot of crazy things have happened before, so I'll just let that be until that happens.
Yeah.
I guess.
You want to close us out, man?
I guess I will. Well, I'll tell you what. It was a tough performance today by Carolina. Not the kind of outcome that we would have liked, but we're here to tough it out. We're here to through the elements, of course, with the hair flying around. But until then, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Q&A. And yeah, peace out, everybody. Thank you for tuning on in today.
Maybe you have Matt Rule as your reporter tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Thanks for
Man,
watching.
We're taking applications, I guess. Have a good one.